from what we're seeing, but it looks like it's working. I see myself awkwardly scratching my neck, so I know it's working.
All right. Should we start? Should we begin?
Sure. Hi, you guys.
Hi, welcome to Hat Chat. After all that, was quite an adventure. It's almost 2 o'clock California time, and welcome to the studio. So we're going to hang out, we're going to talk to you, and do some drawing. And I'm Thibert, 30-year vet in the comics industry. Over 30 years logged in, Marvel, DC, mostly known as an inker. But I have penciled various projects and written some as well. Some independent projects, black and white, Corner Mechanics. You may have heard of them. And Taylor works with me in the studio, and she is over in that direction.
Hey, what's up? I'm Tag. Hopefully there's no echo because we're in the same room. So when they come to see me, you're probably going to see like an awkward shot where you can kind of see both of us.
So, wait, can you see me behind you?
Yeah, there's a delay. So, oh, yeah.
Okay, so we are in the same room.
So welcome to our first Hack Chat. It might be a little awkward being the first broadcast. Like I said, we did jerry-rig this to make it work. If you guys know of an easier way to stream live on YouTube with using an iPad, please let me know. Because I thought I knew how to do it until I actually tried right now, and it turned out to be really difficult.
But we're here. We made it. Yay. So, without further ado, I'm going to be inking this. Let's see if you can see it. I drew it just for fun, but I already actually have a customer that has paid for it. So I'm going to ink it up and finish it for him. And so I'll be working on that. And Taylor is going to be helping me out today on some backgrounds on...
I can't actually show you anything that I'm working on.
Super Sons. You know what I want you to show them is that template folder. She's going to use a lot of templates today. This thing is really cool.
See this thing? This has... I wish I had organized them better. This has like every template imaginable inside. And it has this super rare template that I can't find anywhere else. Look at this.
Oh, that's a template that's been in Hat Shack Studios for 25 years. Yeah, you can't find that template. I wish I could.
All these circles are.
Because it's kind of...
My hands for scale.
It's kind of falling apart.
It's well loved.
It's well loved, well used. Yes. So, if there's any questions or anything, are they going to show up on your screen or are they going to show up on my screen?
They're going to show up on my phone screen right here.
Okay.
Like, I can't see them on the actual screen. Yeah, there probably is going to be an echo because, like I said, we are in the same room. So, I have my volume turned down all the way. I don't know if your volume's turned down all the way.
It's pretty low. I hear a little bit of an echo. I hear mostly you versus through the iPad.
If you both use a mic and headsets, that'll stop the echo, as both mics are currently picking up your speech. Yeah. So, we'll invest in some microphones. I'm sure it's going to get really annoying.
Well, how bad is it? Let us know.
Let's see. My chat right here so I can see them. Yeah, it's not in the chat yet.
But I can't draw with my glasses on, so I'm going to tighten up some of the pencils on this Harley Quinn drawing, and then I will be inking it. So I'm using my HB lead holder.
Yeah, they said the echo's pretty bad.
Should we just maybe
Here, hold
do
on.
this
I can turn
tomorrow,
off.
maybe?
If I turn off this mic. Alright, so if I turn off this mic, can you hear us a little better? I turned off one of them to try to curb the echo. I'll probably be really cut off though. Someone said it's like an amphitheater, so that's pretty bad. Perfect. All right, so I guess that fixed the problem.
Did it?
Yeah, so I muted my microphone.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, but they can still hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, because I can hear you just normally like the room.
Yeah, because I guess both mics are picking up our voices, which in hindsight, you know.
I hear it's 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hindsight, that is. When you were a kid, did you think like hindsight was like through your butt or something? Because it's your hiney.
No.
No. Well, I'm sorry, I didn't either.
So I don't know if you want, when you start inking, we can turn the primary camera on you. I'm sure you guys mostly want to watch that instead of seeing my sweaty face.
So does it bop back and forth when you talk and then I talk?
It does, but
only
I
for
can
them.
click you to be primary. Like if I click your screen, it will only show yours, and I'll just be in the corner, basically.
But when you talk, they see you, and then when I talk, they see me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I figured while you're inking, they probably want to see you, so my face isn't just interrupting.
You know, they're not going to see anything unless I.
Yes, Kid
do
Jackson,
this.
there will be a camera while he's inking. We're going to awkwardly turn the camera.
Are we?
I thought we were.
I thought I was just going to do this.
I mean, you can do that if you want.
We tried to do this on another YouTube, and it didn't turn out very well. I mean, we could try it again, but it didn't go very well. Yeah, I was thinking I would just work like this. We would talk, and then I would hold it up periodically.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's easiest for you. I'm probably going to turn this camera off my face, though, since I'm not going to be...
Well, if you want, we could try to set this up. It might give people vertigo, but we can change the screen, right? Like to go blank while we're adjusting the...
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Which would you guys rather? Would you rather this, or would you rather me try to set up the camera straight down so you can see me working? I would think you probably want to see me working.
Straight down.
Okay. Well, let's go black for a minute, and then we'll set this up for you guys. And thanks for bearing with us through this.
Okay, so hit your camera button.
Is that this one?
No. Click back on. Yeah, click. Yeah, and then click the middle of the screen. Don't touch any of that. And then click that camera. Yeah. No. Okay, there you go. So now they can't see. You guys can still hear us.
All right. I guess we have a blackout now. So this is going to be fun.
Now you get to...
I have a gooseneck that holds this thing up, but this is an iPad, so it's pretty big.
Now you guys get to awkwardly watch us try to make this camera work. Should I try to adjust this?
Yeah, my wife just walked in.
Do we want to switch to the side or?
No, just try to keep it where it's at and then move it over. Yeah.
Could do it up and down too. Sorry, you guys have to listen to us adjusting this gooseneck. We could have turned the mic off, I guess.
Well, no.
Let me look underneath.
So, you want me to click back on and?
Yeah.
The problem is.
So
okay.
your face, though.
Well, that's you.
That's me.
How do I get to me?
Oh no, the biggest one says you on it. It's black. And then click off in the middle of the screen. None of those. And then click. Not that one. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, I can see it. It's not quite. Oh, it's almost there.
Yeah, it's gonna have to
be scooched over. Hold on. Let me try to lift this up.
This is not very professional.
All right.
Maybe. It's a little bit of an angle.
Let me see what we want to. This is kind of stupid.
Let me see if I can bend this. I got a glass table, so you guys are probably going to see more than I want you to.
That looks pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, right there.
So will this screen will stay like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So you guys got
All right.
pretty good view.
So I hope you guys like this.
Let me make sure the mic is on. I think you guys can hear us looking underneath the table. How's that screen? Okay. Should be good.
And once again, guys, apologizing.
Just making sure. Can you guys hear Art? If so, we should be set up.
So did anybody respond?
All right.
Can they hear? Can you hear me now?
I believe we can. Yes, and they said there's nothing wrong with being comfortable.
Okay. So
Looks and sounds good.
I got an image. I gotta try to keep it right about here for you guys. So I got my my cuffs drawn in on Harley.
All right.
I'm just gonna block this in a little bit. So once again, welcome to Hack Shack Studios, Hack Shack Chat. Tomorrow, if I can clean this studio up a little bit, I'll let you see more of it. It's kind of a mess right now. We weren't too prepared for this, but we're going to do the best we can for you.
We tried.
For you guys. So, yeah, this is a Harley I started after San Diego, and the reason I really did it is because I didn't have my usual Artist Alley table this year. Just the logistics of going to the show and working everything out just didn't happen. So I went, but I didn't have my table. So I didn't get to draw for you guys this year. So I missed that. And I got a lot of you guys asking, for commissions and such. And I felt kind of bad that I didn't have anything for you. So I think it was Sunday night. I just sat down at the board and was like, I'm gonna draw something. And so I came up with this as my San Diego doodle, I guess, for the year. I really want to do it next year, but I don't know if you have tried to do the show or go or have heard. It's really kind of a logistic nightmare to get a room, to get tables, just the whole 9 yards. So, and I'm not a big planner. Some people plan this stuff, a year, 2 years in advance. I'm just not like that. So I usually end up just kind of winging it, last minute, which probably isn't the best way to do it, but it's the way I do it. So I'm hoping next year to see you guys and have a table.
Pixel said he's looking forward to the black and white reboot.
Ooh, Pixel. I like the way you think.
Thanks, Pixel. We are too.
Hey, you know what? Since we got the camera set up like this, hold on, Pixel. I got something for you. I just dropped my pencil. Pencil Pixel. You mean this book? Ooh, that works. That's cool. Something's working out. Yes. So this is the book Pixel was talking about. It came out in 94.
Yeah, 1994.
And so Taylor isn't just an amazing ink assistant, but she's also an amazing writer. So her and I have been revamping the original 94 black and white story. It's basically the same story, but kind of tightened up. It's expanded a little bit. The dialogue has changed, and a lot of it's the 20th century. We're in the 21st century. There were things like cell phones and just accessible computers that they weren't prevalent back then. In a lot of places, they didn't really exist at all. So we've incorporated just simple things like that, technology and stuff to the story. So we have the first issue. The reason all this stuff's out is because as soon as we get done here, we're gonna start working on the scripting again. Here's 2, and we have 3. Actually, this is a rough for 1, but we have 3 pretty much blocked out as well.
It's close.
Yeah, so we're gonna go over all that and see how it. You got to kind of work up to a certain point, and then let it set, and then come back to it and see, if anything has changed, how you feel about it. And so that's where we're at with the writing. And while we're doing that, gosh, I wish I had the before book. But this is...
You guys are getting an exclusive preview right now.
Yeah, let me see if I can focus this on the screen here. So this is page 5. So this is a little book. And so when we write, we can see, how everything's going to fit into the panels. And this is page 5, but it's laid out totally different than the original page 5. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can do before or after this way.
Oh, using those books?
Yeah, use the actual book. Let's see. Oh yeah, this. Let me see if I can get this in here. So you can see the layouts changed a little bit. The priority on the page. So these two panels have been played down as far as their importance, and instead of this panel being smaller, and there's actually a lot of dialogue exchanged here too. I made it bigger, and this is also the first appearance of the big bad, and so it's better that it has more impact than this. When my wife and I originally wrote this, we were really limited as far as space, and I guess just the amount of books that we had to do. So we only had like a three book like deal. So we really couldn't expand on stuff too much. But in 25 years, I've kind of figured out how to storytell a little bit better. So yeah, that's why the difference in the layout. It's pretty much the same art, but I wish you could kind of see it's all redrawn digitally. Like these faces and even some of the proportions and things have changed. I think you can really tell by these two faces here, this face and this face here. So I'm going in and I'm taking the original art scans, and then I'm augmenting and redrawing digitally. And it's a lot of fun. It's stuff I've never done before, so it's really pretty cool. So that was the side by side.
And actually, if you want a closer look at any of this stuff, there is a black and white Facebook page.
Oh yeah.
I'll put the link in the description later, and we actually have a newsletter on the website where we show the newsletter subscribers some of this stuff early. If you guys want to get a closer look at this.
Yeah, it's on the Art by Thibert .com site, and I have original artwork there and prints and books and things like that there as well. Ooh, cool. So this is one of those like expanded, like the original page was just this. We changed the order a little bit just because of the dialogue, but then I took this image, blew it up, and so now Whitney's first appearance is more, impactful. Actually, I shouldn't show you these. These are like the extra pages. So then here's Reed Blackett, aka Black, first appearance, and then here's some more. I should kind of not spend too much time on this because I want you to still buy the book. So yeah, these are all the reimagined inks. So we're calling the book Reimagined. So there's new panels, there's new pages, and everything from top to bottom has been redrawn. Most of this stuff won't look anything like the original. So I think we're about, I think we only have 8 more pages of remastered art to do.
For issue 1.
For issue 1, yes. And I just did these 2 panels last night, reimagined or remastered them. And so here's the big one. I'm going to go really fast on this one, though. Okay. That you guys probably want me to be inking, and the big cool stuff. So here's the color.
Sherman wants to know if you use the Marvel method of full scripting.
Oh yeah, this stuff. No, the Marvel method is like not full scripting actually.
Isn't the Marvel method where you don't really write a script and then you just kind of look at the images and
they're breakdowns. So sometimes it's not even like panel 1, panel 2 description breakdown. Sometimes it'll just be a paragraph that explains the page. And this is more earlier stuff. I don't know if Marvel does this as much as they used to, but they pretty much had the Marvel way of scripting. So it was just a script, no dialogue. They would give like a hint of dialogue if you needed it for a dialogue page that you were doing, such as this. These are colors by an amazing new talent that I found on Deviant. I know Deviant isn't that popular anymore. I was like, oh, Deviant's dead. But he colored up a Superman drawing I did. And then he tagged me in it. And I went over there and I looked at his work, and it was pretty amazing. He's really raw. And these are bad printouts, but trust me, digitally, when you see these on the computer, this red stuff, it's amazing looking.
Yeah, those are some of my favorite pages in the book.
Yeah, and then, so we probably have about a third of the color done, and we have, I think we have only 8 pages left on the remastered inks to go. So we're moving along. We're getting there. So here we go. So which glove is black on her?
Oh, Pixel wants to know if you plan to do anything with the updated armor that's shown on the Facebook page.
Sweet mammity jammity.
That's a good question, Pixel. You're on a roll tonight. Morning, noon.
I know, but I don't know if I want to answer that question yet. There's going to be a surprise. So I don't want to exactly say how it's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I've been working ever since my wife and I did the original black and white series. I've been trying to figure out ways of bringing it back. And most of the problem was just marketplace, money. So to dedicate time to these projects, there needed to be money. And so there just wasn't a whole lot of time. So what I ended up doing is trying to work on it in my spare time, the black and white. And so what ended up happening over the years is there's several different versions, because there's a lot of stopping and starting with the story. And meaning that I would write a script, even sometimes start drawing from that script, and then I would fall in love with it because the time, it just like I said, it's been 25 years. So there's probably 2 to 3 different versions of a black and white story around the studio. Like I said, some of it's just script ideas, some of it's been actually penciled, and some of it not. So when Taylor and actually Taylor is the one that had the idea, because she read the original story, the original 3-issue series, and she actually really, really liked it. And she was like, why would you really want to change this too much? And well, tell us a little bit of what you liked about it.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to do a video talking about the old series because I was born in the 90s, so 90s comics are kind of more my sensibility than a lot of modern comics. And I know the 90s kind of get a strange rap as far as tone and story, and they were what they were. But one of the things I really liked about the original black and white series is the characters have a very distinct personality, and the tone is kind of interesting, where it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it commits to everything that it does, if that makes sense. Like, it's not very tongue-in-cheek about stuff that happens, but like, I kind of knew that I was kind of hooked on it when I was getting to know Whitney's character, because in a lot of the newer drafts and stuff that I've heard Art talk about, she was a very different character, and I didn't have any point of reference for how different she was until I read that book. And she's very hyper violent. She makes jokes while doing kind of horrible things. Like, if you've read the original series, there's a part where she drives a motorcycle through a window, and it looks really cool and extreme, and then she's like, oops, I didn't even mean to do that. And it's kind of amazing.
Like, I didn't see you there.
And then she does, my favorite thing is, if you've read the original series, you'll know about this. If not, semi-spoiler alert, I guess. I don't want to give too much away. But she has a very tragic backstory where something happens to her as a child, to her family. And you see her as a little girl, and you think she's really helpless. And then she starts, like, kicking the bad guy's ass before she runs away. And it's kind of amazing. And I was, like, really hooked on that character and the idea of that character. And the whole black and white concept where she's kind of this vengeance-driven, chaotic character. But then there's Reed, who's this really good, like, has a very high moral standard type character that sees the good in her despite her craziness. Like, he knows that there's a good person in there. And it's kind of an interesting pairing. And it's also a really interesting setting because it's set in China. I don't know how much you want to give away about this story, Art, but it has a tone all its own, and it really commits to it, and it's a very unique tone.
It's very international. I think, just like most, I mean, I don't know if anybody knows, it's a spy, it's kind of a spy vigilante story, so that's kind of the overall backdrop. Man, this is cool. We weren't even really planning on talking about black and white, but
the story's cool because it's like, it is a superhero story, but it's also like a spy action adventure.
I would think it's less superhero and more kind of like spy action adventure. Kind of, they're more vigilantes than
than superheroes.
It's like if a female John Wick was hanging out with a Captain America type.
Ooh.
And that's kind of cool.
But just to back up, where I was at is that comics were changing, and the reason Reed Blackett was always the way he was is because even the tagline says, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. And that came out of that there was a lot of gray area characters that were surfacing in the 90s. And I don't have a problem with them per se, but there was an oversaturation of it, and it seemed like the only way people were accepting heroes is if they were deeply flawed. Like they had to have like some kind of tragic backstory or some horrible thing that happened, or an axe to grind or something that made them do what they do. And I know that that's still prevalent in comics, but
it's kind of every hero now.
Yeah, but I believe that there are people that are altruistic. They, by nature, that's just the way they are. That they would sacrifice themselves for others, and they would do the greater good. And I know it's not that popular, especially now, but I thought it would be interesting to do a character like that. And one of the things that I was in the other drafts that I was telling you guys about, he was going dark. Like he was turning into a kind of darkened character.
Reed was,
yes. She already was, but he started having like more flaws and more of a what was perceived as being an interesting past or whatever it was. But then when Taylor was looking it over, I saw it from fresh eyes, and that there seemed like there was a unique perspective there. And maybe it's because of the time it was made, or just the sensibilities that my wife and I had initially when we did the original story. But because of her excitement, I was thinking like, well, maybe there is something to these characters. Maybe don't change them really who they are, but we'll just change just update them, just with certain things, so it felt like a modern comic book versus a comic book that was done in the 90s. So it'll kind of have those roots, those things will still be there, but it will be a lot more contemporary. It'll be more of the time, not just with the technology like phones and computers, but with other things as well.
Add those.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what happened. Like, we were down to write the story completely different, but have the same name and themes. And then when I read that book, I was like, you can't get rid of Reed and Whitney. Like, I liked who they were in the story. And there's something about those characters that obviously resonated with other people, because the old book had a letters column in the back, and you can see, like, people were very enthusiastic about the characters.
Well, I think the book debuted in the top 15 of book sales for that month, and the series sold, I think it was over 500,000, maybe close to 600,000 copies.
Oh man,
that's a lot of books.
Philip Steele has taken issue with you using that brush. He said, would it kill you to use a pen?
Yes. I would be dead right now, Phil. Deader than a doorknob or nail. It's a nail, right? What is a doornail anyway?
I don't know.
All right, everybody, look up doornail and tell me why they're dead and what that is. Do some homework. Educate.
It's a weird term because if it's an inanimate object, then it isn't alive, but I wouldn't say it was dead.
What if it's alive?
I'm gonna look really stupid if a doornail is not something that's inanimate and is something totally off the wall.
Yeah, what if it is like a live thing?
I'm gonna look incredibly dumb.
It's some weird animal that existed in the olden days. By the way, that that whole doornail thing, I probably have never said that before in my life.
No, that's his catchphrase.
It'll be my catchphrase now, since it's become so popular. I brought it back. Hey Philip, I got to get back to Texas, man. I miss your brother, and I miss your area there.
If it's this hot in California, though, it's probably pretty hot in Texas.
Oh, it's crazy hot here. Oh, by the way, too, if you hear that sound, that's the air conditioners. So we apologize, but there's only one way we could do this, and they have to be on full. Otherwise, we would die.
Yeah, it's over 100 degrees right now. Philip Steele says, no worries. They are selling. Don't move to Texas. T-shirts now. What?
They are selling T-shirts now.
What?
Don't move to Texas. Why? You don't want me there? Oh, I see how it is.
Ginger Psycho says his fiance is watching Bob Ross while he's watching this.
Oh, should I tell? Like, if this is popular enough, I'm gonna do a Bob Ross like Halloween like special, where I'm gonna get myself a Bob Ross wig, and I'm gonna ink and draw for you in a Bob Ross voice. But we got to get the numbers up. I don't dress up like Bob Ross for nothing.
Oh, Philip says it's a play on the don't mess with Texas thing, brother.
Oh, okay.
So how many guys in the chat went to SDCC this year? I felt like there wasn't as many people. Oh, sweet strokes on the hair, they say. They're loving the Harley hair.
Oh, cool. Thank you. Thanks, guys. I do my best. I'm just glad we got this camera set up this way.
Yeah, mics are the next thing.
You guys don't know how much of a miracle just happened here. We tried to do this the other day, and the camera kept slipping. So see how I can get the pin in between the screen and the artwork? Or, excuse me, the brush. I couldn't do this the other day, so I was kind of inking like this to try to make it all work. Oh, if there's any potential like aspiring inkers out there, I'm not getting a good flow, and I'll tell you, when you start inking when it's hot, your ink is not going to flow as well. So be a little bit more patient, and keep your brush, I guess, more wet. So dip it in the well more, and sometimes when it's really hot, like what I should have done, is set up a little like container of water, and then you can kind of clean off the brush, and it kind of makes it wet.
They would like to know what brand of ink you're using, Art.
Oh, cool. This visuals makes it so much easier. Here you go. It's the Pelican, but it's not spelled like a regular pelican.
Make sure, you guys, if you buy Pelican ink, though, that you're getting the drawing ink and not the fountain pen ink.
Oh, the fountain pen. Okay, see how it says drawing? Let me see. Where's the camera?
Yeah, see how it says drawing ink on there? The
Right
fountain one
here.
comes in the same container, and it's awful, and it'll stain your hands. It will come off the paper.
Yeah, it comes off the paper. It's so weird. Like, you know how your hand, if you've done any amount of drawing, especially in the summer, your hand gets a little wet. It sweats a little bit. It'll pull that ink right up. It is nasty.
It looks the same until that happens. Sherman says he's going to NYC Comic Con this year.
Oh
Last
my!
time you headed out there, Art.
I'll tell you, if you're going, you have to report back. I heard that place is a zoo, an absolute zoo, and I went. The first 3 years they had it at the Javits Center, and it was already kind of becoming crazy. But the neat thing is they have a little like artist alley section, and it's really cool for the fans and really cool for the artists to kind of be in that area. So yeah, report back. I don't have any plans on going. I I like cons. I like meeting people. I just don't like. I don't like planning. I don't like. It's just too much work. Like SDCC and stuff like that. So I like cons where it's they're a little smaller, and it's one-on-one with people and that type of thing. So yeah, having said that about the water, I'm gonna go get myself some water because my brush is dying here. I'll leave this here. Taylor, entertain the troops.
I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm kind of raising my voice I'm pretty close in the room. I'm sure I sound a little quiet, but I hope that you guys can hear me okay. This whole mic thing has me bummed out. I'll definitely invest in a headset.
We'll look like robots or something. Big old headsets. Get little earbuds.
Apparently you guys can hear me just fine, so thank you for feedback.
Feedback. Well, this is a lot of fun. I feel less alone.
I still feel alone.
Oh, that is sad. I feel awkward with that. I don't know what to do. Should I walk over there and reassure you somehow?
I didn't mean to just leave that and hang
Maybe-
in the air.
maybe-
It was supposed to be funny, but
Maybe a gentle hand on the shoulder, a reassuring it'll be okay.
you can't help me.
You can't help me. No one can.
You know, if we start doing these streams later in the day, you guys are probably going to hear a third person hanging out in here. A special guest, if you will.
We're not gonna say it yet. He's an alumnist. He's part of the Shack. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys know, Hack Shack Studios, the reason it's Hack Chat is because it's Hack Shack Studios, which is where Taylor and I work. But the studio actually has a history. Like I said, I've been doing comics and things for years and years, over 30 years. And what I did way back when is it's pretty daunting doing comic books because there's deadlines constantly and things like that. And I had heard some of the older guys used assistants and things like that. And my roommate was Howard Chaykin's writing partner. So I'd go to Howard, and Howard always used assistants. So I started thinking, like, so I could maybe have a social life, or maybe get more work, accept more work, make more money, things like that, to bring on an assistant or assistants. But I wasn't that ambitious at the time, so it was just an assistant. And the first 3 or 4 years I was working professionally, I was still taking night classes, life drawing, illustration, things like that. And so I was taking a life drawing class, and I met an aspiring artist named Trevor Scott, little inker named Trevor Scott. The amazing Trevor Scott that you might know, that's inking everything under the sun today. And met him, we were just drawing, hung out, got along, and I just told him about the studio. He came by one day. I had a lot of interest in what I was doing. I don't think he really collected comics or was into comics at the time. And we started hanging out, and one thing led to another, deadlines being what they are. And we started working together. And so Howard had his thing. So I guess I just felt like it needed a name. We needed a name. So I'm kind of perverse in what I think is funny, and you probably will find that out. And so I thought it would be funny if the studio, we do quality work, but that it would be called Hack Shack. Like the shack would make reference to the building, and then hack is a derogatory term for somebody who does horrible work. And so I thought it was funny and ironic because that's not what we were. We were obviously doing quality work and great work. And I remember I started working with Jim Lee and those guys around that time. And it was the day of fax machines. And so I had worked up a logo that said Hack Shack Studios, and God, I forget what it was. Really pretty bad, but that was kind of the letterhead of the fax. And I sent it over to him, and he's like, well, what is this? And it's like, it's the name of the studio. And he's like, that a hack is like a horrible term for an artist that draws really badly, right? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, you can't call your studio that. And so, yeah, the more he protested, I think, like I said, a little perverse, the more I wanted to do it. So it just kind of stuck and stayed. So.
And here we are.
Yeah, and here we are. Yeah.
Title has a good question. He's curious about deadlines and wants to know about how long do they give you for like a certain amount of work? Like, what's the average deadline time?
Well, in a perfect world, 30 days. So it's always kind of like 30 days, like a month to do, 20 pages. In the day, it was like 22 pages. And so it's a month. But the thing is, if you're really going to survive in this business, you should be able to work a lot faster than that, because most of the time, they'll give you less. You'll have less time to work on a book. So I would say if you can pencil a book or ink a book in 3 weeks, it's better. If you can do it in 2 weeks, I would say that you'll probably survive. Because like I was saying, the reason assistants are good and things is because it's continual. It never really goes away. So sometimes the schedule changes, and you never really want to give up work, because it's a chance for somebody else to come in and potentially take the job out from under you. So you really never want to pass on a book because of the schedule. So if you can do them faster, it's just better for you. And also, the faster you work, the more money you can make, because we get paid per page. It's not like a salary, like we're working an hourly or something like that. So it all comes down to I guess time management. So the better you can manage your time, get things done quicker, the better you're going to survive the industry and the more money that you will make. So I hope that answers your question.
And that's actually why we're working while doing this live stream.
Yeah.
Just because we can't really justify the time spent staring at the computer while you look at our faces that are not working.
And quite honest, I don't know. I mean, would you guys rather see us, our faces, or would you rather see this? I wish you guys could see what Taylor's doing. And most of the time, I'll be inking on the Adventures of Super Sons pages too. So, you know, either you're going to see like the little blacked out screen with the little caricature of myself on it, or you will have to look at my face because we can't show you the work. We would like to, but we can't.
Gotta wait till it's released.
Yes. What do you guys think? Really heavy line right here? I like it. Boom. Bold, dynamic.
Philip Steele says quality or quantity is always an issue. I guess when it comes to deadlines.
Yeah, it really is. It's a trade-off. There's a lot of artists that will not sacrifice what they think is quality because they feel like, you know, it's going to be judged forever, and you only want your best work out there. And on some level, I totally agree with that, and I would love to be able to live my life that way, but I can't. And the thing that I always come back to is that what we do is we're entertainers. We entertain with the work that we do. So if we can't make a schedule and it can't come out on a regular basis, then you can't follow the story. You can't get your, you know, your monthly action adventure. And so I think if you were doing illustration or you were doing something a little bit more grandiose, that I would say, yeah, hold on to those principles. But comics, and this is where I'm a little old school, is they were always a disposable art form. And I know that breaks a lot of your collectors' hearts. You're like, what?
Well, it's like TV versus movies too, in a way.
Right, but even TVs or movies are like, it's not necessarily high art. It's like you got to meet a schedule. You have to get the product out there, and if you don't, then what's the point? Like if I did every other book, or if I did, you know, 6 books out of the year versus 12, then I think, and I know that a lot of publishers are doing this now, so this is kind of contrary, but this is how I feel, that if the art team changes on a book, especially on some kind of regular basis, what it is to me is it's the equivalence of like if you were watching your favorite TV show and the actor every week was different, like it was a different actor, and they called him the same character, because everybody draws differently. Everybody's take on even the same characters is different. So if you have a different art team and you're bouncing back and forth between art teams, I just feel like it's kind of jarring for the reader.
Well, it stops the book from having an identity of its own too.
Right, and I think to me it's glaring. It's like, what is that, a new actress playing, Gwen Stacy or whatever the book that you're, because it would be a completely different look for her. And I don't mind different looks, but on the book that you're reading every month, it's a continuing story, it's a continuing adventure. I think there should be some consistency. Yeah, exactly.
It does feel a little disruptive sometimes.
But that's, like I said, that's me personally. I don't, I mean, the companies will do what they want, but for me, it was always that. I still always felt too if I didn't like covers that were done by different people as well, because I always felt like it was a little glaring, because I'd like, oh man, look, it's a Bernie Wrightson cover, and then you open the book and it's like some other guy.
You mean Adam Hughes did Catwoman?
No, he didn't. He just did the cover. So yeah, for me it was always, I always liked the consistency of the art team, because to me that's what I fell in love with. So it's like, if there's an aesthetic of your favorite actor or actress, and then all of a sudden, it was a different actor or actress that you didn't feel like attracted to, or didn't feel like they were that cool. To me, it's the equivalence of that. So, yeah.
Sherman says when he was little, he used to watch Days of Our Lives with his sister, and it would always confuse him when the actors were replaced for like long-running characters.
Yeah.
And that is kind of exactly what it's like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's kind of, to me it was glaring, especially when I was a kid. Like you said, like when you're young, you really don't understand it. You're like, well, why is there an inconsistency here?
And Pixel, I did the same thing. Like when I was a kid, I would often buy books for the sake of the cover and then be confused.
Oh yeah, I hated that, because sometimes like you just bought it for the cover, especially when you're young, because you didn't know.
Yeah, you don't know when you're first getting into comics. Like a 9-year-old, you're just like, oh, this looks cool.
You get it home, you're like, wait a minute, that looks nothing like the cover.
Plus, as a kid, I got like yelled at once in the store for looking through a book because I thought I was reading about buying it. So like, I never looked at the inside of them for fear that like the big tattooed guy was gonna yell at me. So then that happened all the time.
Oh yeah. Though they yell like, it's not a library. You're gonna buy that thing?
And we're just like, you're gonna damage the books. Which, I don't know.
I've seen you around comic books. Even I would imagine a young Taylor.
I was pretty careful.
Yeah, you were probably pretty darn careful.
Plus, I thought they were worth a lot of money then.
Well, some of them are still.
Yeah, it's true. Well, probably not even the ones I have. I do have a Spawn #1 first printing in like a thick plastic slipcover that's signed.
Well, there you go.
I have all 3 first issues. That's why you gotta learn fast to find out if it's a good book before buying. Yeah, people in the chat had it down. I guess it's a universal experience.
Yeah. I mean, companies still kind of switch and bait like that. I think maybe it's like a regular practice now. But like I said, I mean, I'm not in charge, so as long as everybody, buying the book and the companies are okay with it, then who am I? It's just my personal preferences, which don't really amount to too much. Once I'm in charge and I run the world, we will have the same artist on every book, and every cover will be drawn by said artist.
Who would that artist be?
Me!
And Mateo Scalera.
Ooh.
Mateo Scalera.
Oh, yeah.
Is anybody in the chat reading Black Science? Actually, I'm not going to start that because I could talk about Black Science for like a while.
Mateo.
I gotta bring those for you, Art.
I want to get them. I follow him on Instagram, and he's amazing.
Yeah, I actually wish that they had black and white versions of the book. But thus far, I haven't found any.
It's weird because stylistically, I can ink like that.
That kinetic kind of...
Yeah, the kinetic brushwork and stuff. I wouldn't say right off the bat it would look as good as the stuff they're doing right now. but I think I could definitely ease into that. And would love to. That's why I like the commissions and stuff that you guys asked me to do, because it gets me a chance. Like the stuff I'm doing right on, like now, I don't ink like this on like Carlo or most of the DC stuff I have, because that stuff's very, very controlled. It's very clean. And to be honest, personally and just stuff I like, I guess personally and professionally, I like the stuff that's a lot more kinetic, a little more loose.
It'd be cool to like you did a flash drawing or something in that style.
Yeah, I mean, if I get commissioned to do it and I have time, yeah, I would love to do something like that.
Pixel wants to know what you think of Bat's style. He said he loves his work over Silvestri.
Hey Taylor, tell the story I always tell about like Bat's signature.
Oh, have you ever looked at Bat's signature? Because the A and the T suspiciously look a lot like Art's AT that he used to use. I'm just gonna say it's literally that AT but with a B in front of it. I'm
It's
not
got a
saying
B
it was intentionally stole, but it is completely identical.
It's got a B and an extra T.
But it's the same T.
It's the same T twice. I guess more is better, so an extra T makes it better. So anyways, if you guys are ever wondering why I don't sign my name like that anymore,
Which you did for years.
That's why, because I think I got a better signature now than I did then. You know what? I'm gonna ink it right now, the signature, just so.
So he helped you out by using your look. But what do you think of his work?
I talked to him in San Diego. It's one of the guys I hung out with. I think he is amazing at what he does. I think he manages to keep it really tight, but at the same time, there's quite a bit of movement. And I've always tried to do that with my work as well. Is really try to be as expressive as you can and get as much movement as possible out of the line, because this is illustrative and it is supposed to look nice and maybe even pretty at times, but it's action adventure. It still has those elements to it. So I think movement in the ink is very important, and he sure as heck can do it.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh yeah, people are noticing the similarities. I'm not trying to be salty or anything by bringing it up. I just find it amusing.
Yeah, I think it's funny. It's but like you said, it pushed me into a different direction, and I think this is a lot better. And also, if you guys will bear with me for an industry story, I remember talking to Greg Capullo, and when I worked with Greg, he was still doing the GC logo. It was just the GC, and
GC logo.
It was Greg Capullo.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, I said, it looks like the CoverGirl logo, but it's the opposite, right? Instead of a GC, it's CG, and it's in the box.
That's
like
right.
if you guys look back,
back to back like that.
Yeah, they're like stacked. Yeah, they're kind of like on top of each other, but kind of like three-quarter or like across catty corner from each other.
Oh, that's funny.
And and so I was like, you might want to think about changing it. And I think either he mentioned it to Todd because he was doing Spawn at the time, or Todd had already told him this, that he should start signing his full name. And Todd's philosophy was that initials just don't work. People should be able to see and know your work by your name. So you want to brand your name, kind of thing. I
totally disagree with that.
Yeah. And so then me being, like I said, I'm kind of, contrary and perverse at times. I was like, yeah, but look at Frank Miller, the FM. Look at Adam Hughes, and stuff like that. But there's always exceptions to every rule, and I think Todd is right for the majority, of people.
I think it is better branding overall.
Yeah.
Which is why I go by my 3 initials. And I do like the Capullo, the signature that he uses now.
Yeah, it's very cool.
It's kind of Frazetta-y, it's kind of horror. It looks neat. I like it.
I think it represents him very well.
Yeah, it does.
Just like my Thibert. And by the way, I ink a lot faster than this. See if you can see. Everything's upside down to me, but there's the signature. This isn't upside down, right, Taylor? This is
it's
right side down.
Flip it.
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. With those strokes.
And this is also kind of Frazetta-y inspired, but isn't everything?
Someone says, do you think Superman had a relative named Pure-L?
You've been saving that one, right? You had that one chambered.
I told Art if he had a son, he could name him Ted, because his name would be Ted Thibert.
That'd be horrible.
I think it'd be awesome.
I have a friend named Ted. Dude's a nut.
You might be watching right now.
Hey, Ted, if you're listening, you're a nut.
I wonder how many people in the chat didn't know that your name was pronounced that way.
Thibert?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's the saying? As long as I'm not, what's it? Something about late for dinner.
Oh, just don't call me late for dinner. My friend
You
made
can
it
call me, Thibert or Thibert. Just don't call me late for dinner.
I feel your pain. No one pronounces my last name correctly either.
You
I
mean
don't think anybody, outside of my family members has pronounced my name correctly on the first try.
Grosso?
Yeah. Yeah, my last name is Grosso, but I've heard Grosso and Grasso.
I remember.
They're all different. And Roscoe. Someone who
Roscoe.
didn't even pay attention.
I remember when you first started working here, one of the first things you said is
It's not pronounced that way. It's not
right. Yeah, you're like, don't call me Grosso or whatever.
Yeah, I started just intercepting people. I learned that in school when they'd be about to call. There weren't that many Taylors in the 90s. Actually, I guess there must have been because there's a lot of women in their 20s now named Taylor. But whenever I'd hear them starting to say my name, be like, it's Grosso, the second that they brought it up.
Yeah, shut him down. Keep him straight. Set them
Pixel
straight.
says, sadly, I said Thibert. Or is that Thibert?
It's Thibert. No, there's no Bert in it at all. I remember, I was talking to, it was Adam Qbert. And I said,
Adam Thibert.
Yeah, and I said, is it Adam Thibert? And I tried to share my story and find some commonality with it. And
No.
Oh, he was so indignant, because they're obviously comic book royalty, the Qberts, and holy crap, man!
That's hilarious.
If looks could kill. So yeah. Go up to one of the Qbert brothers and call him Qbert.
I'm sure that Matt Groening, I didn't know his name was pronounced that until they made a joke about it on The Simpsons. Because there was a skit where he was at a comic convention and this guy's like, Mr. Groening, can you sign this? And I was like, oh, I thought that was his name.
Nope. It's not.
It's Groening, fun fact.
It's graining, and you're Grasso.
Yeah. That's why it's easier to go by tag.
And cooler.
Yeah, I know. Sherman, you've been with us since the very beginning. I'm happy that you're in this live stream. You've been with us since day one, since the portfolio review days.
Which, by the way, we're gonna still do those. What is today? Wednesday?
It's Thursday.
No, is it?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. The week's flying by.
So I don't know. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow then. Yeah, we have all your submissions, and maybe we should start doing that again. Maybe once a week, opposed to every day. I think you guys would probably rather see this nonsense on a regular basis than.
But we do, if you were trying to submit and you noticed the link was closed or unavailable, we do shut down the link after a couple days when we've been opening for submissions lately, because the file share or whatever that we keep everything on does get really full really fast.
And it's just easier for us to go through.
Yeah, it gets daunting when there's like 100 plus.
Yeah, that first when we opened it up, the portfolio review.
We didn't know what we were getting into.
Yeah, it was pretty nutty. So, just like this, like today, there's a learning curve with all this stuff. So I hope you guys can be patient. We will build something cool together. I'm going to mention Peter Palmiotti because Peter has been a big help with us, and so he likes it when we're like the art community, the comic book art community. So,
Sherman, did you submit? And Ginger Psycho, I see your comment. Don't slack on that drawing. Get to it.
what?
He said he's been slacking on his drawings lately.
Oh yeah, don't slack. No one likes a slacker.
It's fun. You can do it.
Hey, you know what? Start drawing. Like whenever we go on, just sit at the table and start drawing with us.
Yeah, we'll force you to draw. It'll be like you're sitting here with us.
You hear that tinkle, tinkle, tinkle? That's the water, and it's helping.
We'll keep you company.
Yeah, we'll keep you company. Maybe we should just do that. Every aspiring artist out there that's watching will just inspire you to start drawing at the same time we are.
That sounds like fun. Well, you guys can't hear me shifting through all these templates.
How long should we do this for?
Oh no, what time is it? How long have we been at this?
It's 3 cow time.
Holy crap already? Excuse the potty mouth.
I think it's holy poop.
What's the thing that Billy Batson always says? Holy moly! That's what he says.
Holy moly.
He didn't say it in the commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know, how much longer do you want to stay on here? We got quite a few people in the chat.
Do we?
Yeah.
How many people? 100,000?
Oh no, I can't tell.
5 million?
There's a lot.
Well, as long as we have people, I guess we can stay on.
Although since we're going low tech today, whenever we shut down this chat, I gotta go turn off the broadcast downstairs.
Alright, I'm having a problem here. I think the highlight should be in here. I'll figure it out.
Philip Steele says, later guys. The whistle blows here at the office in 5.
Hey brother, give your sweetie a hug for me, and I want to come to Texas soon. Hang out.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Philip. a Pixel was in our live stream, I think, last time with Mike Miller. He said this is what he was talking about, letting the artist draw while someone works as a moderator to pass along the comments, like I'm doing right now.
Ooh, great minds.
It does work a lot better, right? Because then you don't have to like have them pause and stare at the screen awkwardly. Unless you're into that, no shame.
She's not shaming anyone. You know what's weird about this iPad is the camera is on this side. So I'm gonna have to set, I think I need to move this over because I think I keep moving the paper over to this side.
Oh, it looks pretty centered on my screen.
Yeah, I keep moving it over, but if people could see my drawing board, I'm actually drawing over in the left-hand corner of my board and not the center. So I think if I move that stand over maybe by 6 inches.
It's a perfect setup and that looks good.
Oh, cool. But I see how I have to keep kind of moving it over.
That camera's so far to the side.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't set it up like at the center of this thing instead of over. I think it's over in the corner here.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
It's awkward. Let's talk to someone. Let's make a call.
Let's see. Group settings, where there are multiple artists, they can tell their stories and show their work without having to constantly glance at their screens. Yeah, that's what we're trying to minimize here. We thought the same thing, Pixel.
We actually kind of have a solution, but we wanna keep it top secret until we can unleash it on you guys.
Because I am working at the same time here, so I am glancing at the screen. You just can't see my awkward face staring at the chat in between.
Because you're reading off your phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I can't see any of that.
There has to be a better way.
Once again, we need to make a call.
To who?
I don't know, whoever takes care of these things.
John Wick.
No, he'll kill you. He's gonna take care of these
problems. Takes care of problems.
Yeah, he does take care of problems. I guess that's one way of taking care of a problem.
What if he's like a tech guy too?
That'd be awesome. He kills the bad guy in your house and then fixes your computer.
That might be one of his stories that they just didn't tell.
I think it should be one of our stories that we will tell.
He's trying to leave that life behind to live peacefully as an MI tech. Time for me to clock out and head home. If you're not still streaming when I get home, it's been fun, says Sherman. People are clocking out now. Wonder if we should call it soon.
Yeah, I mean, depends on time zone because East Coast is probably 6 and
is anybody on the East Coast tuning in right now?
2, yeah, so it's 5 and 6 o'clock in other places. It's only 3 here. Yeah. So yeah. Wait a minute, you guys are watching this while you're at work?
Oh, that makes me feel special though.
Yeah. I'm not gonna judge. I'm just glad you're here.
We're not gonna get you in trouble.
I don't even know where you live.
We're just keeping you company. This is an education.
This is an education.
San Diego is an East Coast pixel.
San Diego is an hour drive from here.
Where is Tejas?
You just made that up, didn't you?
That's where Tidal said he is, in Tejas.
Tejas what? New Jersey? All the weird names are New Jersey. Or like Minnesota. Minnesota, don't you know? That was my Minnesota accent.
Them.
I'm sorry. Gosh.
The people in Tejas don't like that.
Okay, can you say Tejas without like smiling or laughing?
Oh, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right.
They believe it's Tejas.
Oh, he meant Texas.
Oh, maybe you should be.
I was like, that doesn't sound quite right. Is that a province in New Mexico?
No, it's the Lone Star State. Don't you know?
Texas, alright.
Texas tea. You know what Texas tea is?
No. Is that like Cactus Cooler?
It's oil.
Oh.
Didn't you watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
No, I wasn't alive.
Oh, I hate you. Texas tea.
I mean, I guess I could have watched it.
I remember when I was a young, impressionable kid, and they're like, Texas tea. I'm like, what? It's Texas tea. It's oil. Oh, okay.
Maybe if they just said what they meant
I wonder if
instead of using colorful vernacular.
I wonder if they just made up Texas tea for the show.
Or if it's a term.
It's an actual like.
I like black gold better as like a saying for oil.
They say
Texas
that too,
tea
right?
Is misleading.
Because it says black gold Texas tea or something like that, and then the next
Title says Texas tea is happy grass. That is not true.
I think the longer we go, the better this show's gonna get.
The happy grass is like the devil's lettuce.
We're bringing out the happy grass.
Ginger says he looks like he's the furthest east.
Where are you, Ginger?
Said I think he was from KY.
Kansas City? Wait, KY? What is
Is KY?
Kentucky? Is it
That's what I was
Kentucky?
thinking, Kentucky.
Kentucky.
It's been the longest time since I've been outside of California.
It's been a long time since I've been out of this room.
Yeah, you guys, if this camera goes off, we're staying here. You can go home and have your fun, but we'll be here the whole time until this camera turns on again, and we'll have never left.
Just know we'll be here making your comics.
You like Super Sons?
You like Super Sons? This is what it takes to make a Super Son. What?
Kentucky, yes.
Ah, nailed it.
I've never been.
It's an amazing place. You know, everything outside of California is an amazing place to me because it's so darn expensive to live here. And then sometimes I actually go into these different places in the wintertime, and then I realize, yeah, I like California better.
It is hard to live here, though. It's very expensive. The In-N-Out lines are getting ridiculous.
The In-N-Out lines.
There's too many people.
Speaking of In-N-Out, man, I'm starving.
I'm hungry, too. I don't want them to, like, I already ate, like, my energy bar and stuff, but I didn't want the chat to have to be subjected to my disgusting crunching.
We should eat right here on...
No, they wouldn't like that.
and just chomp with our mouths open.
Ginger says that they're family. Wait a minute, do you actually know Art personally, or do you know me?
Oh my gosh, are you Ginger Bastard?
That's Ginger Psycho.
Wait, okay. Do I know a Ginger... I thought it was Ginger Bastard, though. Pardon my French. I got excited. Do we know each other? Because I
Do you
do
know anyone from Kentucky?
Yeah, I have family in Kentucky.
Well, then they must be your family.
Well, like I said, I just know a Ginger Bastard. Once again, pardon my French. This is a family
That's their
show.
term, not his.
Yeah, this is I'm not just
He's
cut.
not calling them
Although I
that.
do keep saying it over and over again, I think
No. Rolls off the tongue.
I think I might be enjoying it. Ginger Bastardo.
I wish I could show you guys this page right now. It's really cool. He said, yes, you are family. But they didn't reveal who they are.
Well, you have to. You have to now.
Maybe they don't want to on the live YouTube.
Is there a Weaver involved?
Yes, it's me, Art.
It's a me. Oh, hi. You are awesome, dude. Yay, Ginger.
Sean.
Yeah, tell
It's Sean, he says.
Patricia I said hi. He is, I believe, the son of my niece.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Trish.
Thanks for coming in to support, Sean.
Yes, thank you so much.
Very cool. None of my family's here. None of them are even working. Well, I can't say none.
None of them even have a job.
I can say none of them are working.
That's not really sad.
Yeah, that's messed up. Well, my grandparents are retired. They're not gonna watch this. Thank goodness.
What if all of a sudden you got like thousands of followers and stuff? Do you
I
think?
don't have thousands of family.
I know, but I'm just saying, if it became really popular, do you think that they would go, "Hey,
No, they wouldn't care.
I'm gonna check this out"?
My mom might. My mom is off for the summer because she's a teacher, so I thought she might pop in, but that'd be kind of weird anyway.
Well, this is the first show.
Yeah, she doesn't know. It's best she doesn't know.
What I'm sensing here is that my family is way cooler than your family. That's what I'm
They're
kind
obviously more supportive.
of.
Wow, I just blasted my family live. They're never gonna see this.
Or are they?
No.
My brush is not flowing. See the eyelash right there? That's an example of the brush.
They're pretty good eyelash.
The brush
Yeah,
going
that's
dead. The brush dying.
Pixel says he dropped you a message on Facebook with a link to the Bat versus AT picture he made.
Oh no! I'll post it. I think he'll like it. I think he'll think it's funny. I never said it to him personally, although I think it every time I see him.
The bat's out of the bag now. It's out of the belfry.
Speaking of bat and cat and belfry, we have a bat cat sale, artwork sale, 20% off at the website.
Yeah, did any of you guys read the Batman Catwoman wedding special? Because in honor of that, if you go to artbythibert.com, there's a section that's called Bat and Cat, and we have all the we got some Arkham Annual under there and some Catwoman pages. And if you enter code BATCAT, all lowercase, then you will get 20% off your purchase, and you will get a commemorative Batman and Catwoman mini print.
And if you guys remind me, I'll show you the print tomorrow. If we do, well, we're gonna do something live tomorrow. I'm not sure we'll do this. Maybe a portfolio review, but yeah, we'll show it to you. You'll see it.
But the sale ends on
The end of this month,
yeah,
right?
the sale ends at the end of this month, so get in on that while you can.
There's still some great pages too.
There's some really good ones. They're fun actually just to peruse if you want to see almost like a big portfolio of arts. You can go to artbythibert.com and see all the original artwork for sale, get a closer look at these pages. There's all kinds of titles on there.
30 years of comics. I'm just making up some of this hatching here.
I'm not a big fan of the modern Harley design, but you make it look pretty good, Art. It's pretty cute.
Thanks, Tag. Here's a check.
Is Harley one of your more popular commissioned characters?
Yes. Harley Quando. Harley Quando. Oh, I am getting hungry. Oh, going to go till 3:30. You want to do 10, 15 minutes more?
That's fine. You guys are up for that, I assume. I'm just gonna do it. I'm not really asking.
But that was kind of nice until you said, "I'm not really asking."
I kind of.
It sounded very
I ruined
sweet.
that moment.
Yeah, it sounded very sweet until you said,
I care
"Yeah."
what you think.
You know what? I don't really care.
No, I care what you think, but it's gonna take a while for you to respond, and I don't want to.
or burden them.
I don't want to burden you guys with feeling like you have to give me permission.
All right. Ink is drying very quick on this brush.
People are browsing the website.
Browse away. Sign up for the newsletter. Let's get this party started.
Oh yeah, if you guys sign up for the newsletter on the site, you'll have access to raffles that we do. We do these raffles once a month. This month the raffle is $7 a ticket. You have to be subscribed to the newsletter in order to buy a ticket. And like I said, tickets are $7 each. And what we are raffling this month is a copy of Art's art book. I don't know if you guys followed, but he did a Kickstarter earlier. The book is called Oodles of Doodles and other stuff too. And you get a copy of the book, and inside you will get a head sketch of your choosing. So I think he's grabbing the book to show right now. But it's a hardcover book. It's super nice. And you could end up scoring it in a drawing for $7, which is a pretty good deal.
Is this going to be upside down?
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
So here's the...
You look Whitney's on the cover.
Yes, of black and white. The art of, there's the signature, Oodles. And so you guys know, look at this.
Oh, hey, that's me.
That's a me, a tag. So Taylor is a brilliant designer.
Oh.
And let me crack the spine. No, I'm not going to be able to sell it.
It was perfect grade.
But she laid all this stuff out. Let me find, there's her name right there. So there's Hack Shack Publishing over here. This is us. This is her. This is me.
By the way, if you look closely at that H, it's like a little inking nib. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think you can get a better shot here.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, yeah, this is the book. We'll show maybe more of it later. But yeah, and then I'll do a sketch for you.
It's $7 a ticket. All you got to do is sign up for the newsletter, and then if you look up the details on the site, there's actually a raffle section, and you can see how to get your tickets. But feel free to contact us for details if you're curious.
We had some stuff prepared to talk about, and do you notice we didn't need to get any of that stuff?
Well,
Tomorrow.
We talked about, oh, thanks, Pixel. So I did good work. Yes, the green guy is me. That's the tag goblin. Well, we were going to talk about black and white, which we did. We didn't talk about the Aquaman poster.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like tomorrow we can talk about some of the
How about that Aquaman poster, guys?
San Diego. Well, no, let's not talk about it now. We only have 10 more minutes. We're gonna be all talked out. We're not gonna have anything to talk
Well,
about.
I can
tomorrow.
talk endlessly about that poster.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can. You might have to take the show. Take it on the road.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll talk about the Aquaman poster. If art is down for it, and I'm not just gonna dominate it by talking about it. And maybe we can talk about some of the cool stuff we saw at SDCC, some of the announcements.
Yeah, some cool stuff.
Oh, Art's Twitter is just Art Thibert. If you type in Art Thibert as one word, it should come up. People were asking.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks.
And his Instagram is also just his name, Art Thibert. Pretty much all of his social media is under that name, except for the DeviantArt, which is A-E Thibert. All is one word. I don't know how many of you guys use DeviantArt. DeviantArt gets a pretty bad rap, but there's a lot of good professionals that actually have like well-maintained DeviantArt pages. So,
You know why I like it? The main thing is Instagram is cool, but like DeviantArt is your portfolio.
yeah.
And they're they're big images, and you can click on them. And Instagram is great. I love Instagram, but the images get cropped.
They crop it, and they're kind of not great resolution,
Yeah.
which is weird because Instagram's whole thing is like images, but that's not what they do best.
And weirdly, yeah, I think image-wise, I think Tumblr's like the best, right?
Yeah.
Like their images are the sharpest and the best, which is weird. You think that Instagram would be more like that, but
Yeah, I know Tumblr has quite the reputation, and my philosophy on Tumblr is the experience is kind of what you make it, because really who you follow basically shapes your Tumblr experience. I'm gonna avoid talking about the community altogether, but one thing I can say positive about Tumblr is their image quality, if you're uploading images, is really good.
yeah, that's all I'm talking about. I'm not talking
As an
about
image
content
platform,
or anything.
it's
Yeah. I like the scroll feature where you scroll down and the images are pretty big. They're pretty good size, and it'll take on the size of the composition. So, if it's square, it'll be square. If it's more rectangular, it'll be rectangular.
Pixel said something about a place called Art Station. I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with Art Station.
Hoping this brush stays wet. I'm doing the detail work.
Yeah, how close are you to finishing that?
If I just focused, I could probably in about an hour, maybe 40 minutes.
Prepare for your mind to be blown. Alright, I'll look up Art Station later, then.
Did he say that, or were you saying
No,
that?
he said that. Most people are really on Twitter and YouTube.
I'll tell you right now, Twitter's not my friend.
I actually I don't have a Twitter account.
I can't get anything going on that. Like, I've been trying for years, and I don't know what the heck's going on, but it doesn't like me.
Yeah, what is the key to success on Twitter?
Being a celebrity,
Oh.
probably, I imagine. Tweeting about the food you ate, the party you went to. I tweeted this morning about the heat. Last night, it was so darn hot. It was so darn hot here in California. We actually ate dinner in the pool, the family and I. It was hot, and I'll tell you right now, it was one of the best dinners I've had.
They said the key to Twitter success is persistence.
Well, I've been persistent. It still doesn't do any good.
Pixel, I 100% agree with you. Twitter is a mess. I can't navigate it at all.
I always feel like there's something that I'm just not understanding. Like, I'm not getting something, because every other platform I do pretty well, but that one, it's just like, what is going on?
Twitter requires you to be very active, they say.
Yeah. You know what I'm having for dinner tonight? And then have a picture of whatever.
Someone wants to know if you ever use a smudge guard so you don't smear your work.
I don't even know what that is.
Some people I've seen use like a little like a cotton piece or like a cloth like under their hands so they don't go over it and smear their work.
Oh.
I don't really know how they completely work because
I don't know. What one of these days you guys will see me. I'm inking crazy slow right now. When I'm inking on a deadline, this will be flipping around like crazy. It'll be a breakneck speed. Um, so I think if I had something under my hand, I would just it'd slow me down. Because if I had something, I guess I had to keep setting up to put my hand on. It probably would make for a cleaner work, but it would slow me down.
yeah, I guess it would depend on whether you were used to it or not. I don't think it would be worth you trying to get used to at this point.
I'm set in my ways.
Sketch Therapy says people use Twitter because YouTube hides notifications often, I guess, for videos. They were suggesting that we post when we're going live on Twitter, which I think we did today.
Yeah, I think I did this morning. Yeah.
Ginger says a smudge guard is usually it's like a glove that goes over your pinky finger.
Oh, I've seen like those animation guys use it. Like it covers your palm.
Isn't that more for like soft leads and stuff?
Maybe. I think you'd still smudge, just probably wouldn't get your hand oils on the board.
Plus, it probably looks pretty cool and stylish. Everybody knows you're an artist when you got that smudge guard on.
Watch out. He's got a smudge guard on. Gonna do some art. He's gonna draw some pictures now. I'll look into that though.
Pixel says he uses one on his Cintiq so his hand doesn't stick to the glass.
That makes sense.
Oh man, you have a Cintiq Pixel? Those things are legit. I've always wanted one. I can't get used to the I tried a Wacom tablet and I can't get used to the whole not seeing the artwork and looking at the screen part. And I can see how that would be weird because your hand touching the screen does affect things.
Well, it would slow it down. You wouldn't get a flow because the oils and because I have a glass board here, so I can kind of understand. I can see that. Well, we're coming up on 3:30, so I think we are going to bid you all adieu. So thank you, everybody. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to build and keep building this. So Hack Chat, let me know what you guys think. Is it ring the bell, hit the bell,
Like and subscribe.
like and subscribe, tell a friend, and let us know what you think. Is this still upside down? Should I turn this around?
Yeah, I'm gonna run downstairs and shut off the broadcast. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us, guys.
So here's what I've been doodling. So I'll probably have it done in about a half hour. So once again, thank you guys so much. This has been a lot of fun. And let me know if you'd like to see this more on a regular basis, every day, every other day. Because the only thing I really have planned is like the Hack Chat and then reviews.